Do I have a remote somewhere? Thank you. Thanks for joining this talk about collective intelligence. We'll discuss today something that has existed, at least, as long as humans have. But doesn't work. You can go. You will do it, actually. Yeah, and probably even before, actually. We can all recall this huntsman when they had to deal with the mammoth. By dint of sharing the experience, the techniques are improved. And they didn't know yet that they were using collective intelligence to get better results. The idea behind it is that in the right circumstances, groups are remarkably intelligent and often smarter than the smartest person in the group. It all started when an entomologist, William Morton Wheeler, analyzed the foraging activity in our Western ant colonies. He found out interesting behavior in the way the colonies worked. And it's still today the basics of the collective intelligence. In the colonies, there is no centralized control. The queen doesn't give any order, and ants know what to do just by communicating with each other through a brief antennal contact. Our own knowledge comes from different people, right? Your knowledge comes from your parents, your friends, your teacher, and also from books, documentaries, and films you read or you watch. And all of this is written by different people. The system we are living in, the democracy in here, it's also an imperfect form of collective intelligence. It's based on the fact that if a majority of you vote for one person, this person is probably the best one to manage the country. That's the democratic voting system, right? Then why are we here speaking about something that everybody knows and even almost use every day? Because for a decade or so, we started to see a new kind of collective intelligence, pushed by new technologies. And today, we can glimpse new possibilities in the way we work and in the way we live. Technology is an enabler of collective intelligence, and we can see why by looking at the four conditions in which the collective intelligence needs to take place in order to be truly efficient. And the four conditions, the first one is to have a group of people with diverse opinion, and that's probably the case here, right? We have different backgrounds, and yeah, there is a big diversity in here. And that's really important. If you have in the same room a group of people with all the same opinion, that doesn't lead to the creation of new ideas. Moreover, people should be open to others' opinion. That's key, and that's, by the way, one of the principles of brainstorming activities. The second point is to not be afraid. Everybody should be able to voice his idea. And we saw in the past, in our history, that small group of people can impose ideas to others just by afraid them. And that's not good, because if you don't feel comfortable sharing your ideas, you corrupt the collective intelligence. And the result that is creating by this is not what it should be. And by the way, the whole intellectual property protection system is in total opposition with the collective intelligence. The third one is to have big diversity. You need to have different people from different countries. And companies now start to use more and more their community. If I ask you to create a new product today, would you rather ask an expert or the user you want to sell the product to? The last condition, and it's not the It's the most important, and that's why technology is really important. We need to have a way to gather all the information in a centralized place that can be accessed globally. And that's really important if you want to share the information. And guess what? Where can you find persons with different opinions that are not afraid? And a wonderful way to collect and share the information globally. Where can you find that? On internet, of course. The web is widespread. Everybody can use it and remain anonymous. And the data, the information can be structured, stored, and shared globally easily. We all recall the big paper encyclopedia that we had in a bookcase. Today, the biggest crowdsourced web-based encyclopedia springs up with the help of technology. I speak about, of course, Wikipedia. Everybody, every of you can go there, search for information, but you can also contribute to the creation of content. We know also that we saw also the rise of social network, right? We all maybe use Facebook, Twitter, and that ease the communication between people, and to some extent, that's that some countries, some democratic revolution in some emerging countries. We know also this. All physicians can go online and fill the medical records of a patient, and then other physicians can access it via internet. And that's really easy the treatment of patients. That's where we go. Everybody benefits from collective intelligence. By, for example, you can switch. When you use Google, you benefit from collective intelligence. Google gather information from millions of people and then use this knowledge to answer your question in a way that often seems amazingly intelligent. Google can even finish your sentence. Can you imagine that? They use information from millions of users to do that. When you look for a new book online on Amazon, Amazon uses preferences of millions of users to suggest you books that you will definitely like. And yes, today, maybe the past generation didn't use all of that, but today we use that every day, and that changed the way we work and also the way we live. If I ask you, if you want to buy something previously, you had to trust the vendor or a few people. Today, you can access millions of viewpoints in a few seconds before deciding or not if you buy the product. Lately, one of the biggest mobile industry success is due to the openness of the platform to the developer community. I speak, of course, about this Apple device that millions of people have in the pocket. The community actually can enhance the system with new features and transform this little device into a multifunction phone. They were really smart when imagining that because they put the creativity in the hand of the user. Then, how can collective intelligence address bigger challenges? With the help of technology, we can foresee some evolution we can have in energy sector, healthcare, education. And we can start, for example, with energy. Energy, everybody speaks about that. It's something really precious. We cannot live without energy. We need to take care of energy, and efforts are made worldwide to save it. But it's not enough. As a company, you have two ways to, as a company or as an individual, you have two ways to deal with the saving of energy. The first way is to maybe ask an expert, and based on his experience, the expert will come and tell you what to do. But how do you compare the experience of an expert to the crowd? But yes, you can actually ask the experience of millions of users about how they save energy to collect ideas. As a company, you have a big network, your employee, your clients. You can leverage them to get ideas on how to save energy. And actually, technology can help you to gather information, to test some of the ideas, and to monitor the result for the rest of the community. Let's take an example, one I love. A bank. A bank has a big network of branches. And what they could do is ask their employee, okay, or the client, do you have any idea on how to save energy? And then they can test the most mentioned ideas and then monitor the result in order to have a real strategy for the whole branches. They can test a small idea in a small set of branches and then decide whether or not they do that for the rest of the branches. But today, if I ask you, would you rather trust all the people here, or one expert, or 2 or 3 experts? I think you will still choose the expert. Why are we trusting so much the experts? And I think it's come from our educational model, when one guy teaches the group, where the collective intelligence just suggests the opposite. The group, the widest possible, should be able to learn from each other. Some schools, especially in the US, in UK, start to understand that, and they share all the content to be accessible by the mass. And they understood that the content is not the most important thing, but the interaction between the people is really the most crucial part. And that's the idea behind TED, right? That's why we are here, to share ideas, to spread ideas across the globe. I wanted to give you a last sample that gives a lot of hope to patients. It's a website in the US where patients with the same disease can meet each other online. They can discuss their problem. And in this website in the US, there is something like 200,000 people with disease, and they exchange every day. And they also enter some data about how they feel every day and which treatment they take. Then there is two parts. One part which is social interaction with the patient with the same disease. And the second part is I can enter my data, how I feel, how I take my medication. And when you ask the patient, they mostly go there to find other people to talk with, people that can understand them. It's really important when you have disease to find other people to speak with. But if you think as a webmaster of the website, what could you do with all this data about which treatment I take and what is the effect on my feeling? That's really important. We can, with this kind of technology, this kind of community, we can leverage all the data and see which treatment are available and what are the real effects on real patients in a day-to-day basis. And that gives a lot of hope in the way we treat the patient. It's like a big lab for medicine where they can actually see the real effect of medication on patients. Do you know, for example, and that's for sure, that patients with cancer still receive a not appropriated treatment right now, even in our country? Moreover, with this kind of platform, we can also see if external activities affect the way the patient feels. For example, and I will stay with the cancer patient, we know that for some type of cancer, eliminate sugar and doing sport is sometimes better than doing a chemo. As you can see, everything is in place. The technology is here. You can leverage it. You can go and create really fast a big community. You can ask, if you have a company, you can ask a user how to improve. And the last thing you need to take up is to just open your mind, listen to others, participate into the community, to the collective intelligence, and acknowledge the fact that as an expert, you may wrong. Thank you.